And essentially what we're going to use this time for is to share all the amazing things that happened in 2021. And Liz and I will share the presentation back and forth. We also have several speakers who are going to jump in and just for a couple minutes talk about experiences and impressions. And then we, at the very end of the meeting, a little bit, will go into 2022. And in the chat, if you have questions or comments, go ahead and throw them in there, and we will try to address at the very end with a Q&A conversation. This is our third all members meeting, which is amazing. And let's just start off with what it means to be a member. To be a member of Evanston Made is to engage, connect, build community, learn professional skills, grow as a community member and artist, observe what's being made around you. I know that we talk extensively about the benefits of membership, but hopefully in your experience, being a member is a pretty awesome thing. And I know it feels really great, especially this year, because we've seen membership go through the roof in terms of numbers. So here's just a quick slide. Colors and size of font do not mean any priority or favoritism, but this is absolutely sort of a look at what it is that comprises Evanston Made and the work we do within the calendar year. When we talk about programming, we talk about hashtags, we talk about events. This is sort of a quick snapshot of all the things that we do. We have signature events that we are known for. Our Makers Market, this is our third year, we're going into our fourth. Last year we had 6 Makers Markets, which proved to be a surprise economic engine for the organization. Between asking for a $5 donation at the door to booth fees, this really became a great way for us to have income stream. It was also an opportunity for us to take hundreds of people at all different levels to market, something that during the pandemic, we sort of were like, how are we going to do this? Makers Markets in 2022 will look a little bit differently. We'll talk about that at the end. It's still going to be in a parking garage. We had our group show, despite not being able to have it the year before. We did have our group show this year at the Evanston Arts Center, showcasing 179 pieces of art and members, which is incredible. We had our highest selling ever in any of the group shows, and we were able to host some events, they limited and mask on, but it ended up being a really amazing experience. We had our studio tour back in October. Over the course of 2 days, we had heard from many of you over the years, the studio tour prevented you oftentimes from seeing other people's studios. And this year, over the 2 days, or last year over the 2 days, it really helped a lot of people circulate. 2022 will have 2 studio tours, which is awesome. And then the big end of year surprise windfall was the pop-up market, which allowed us to work with more than 100 members to not only sell art and handmade goods, but then also showcase art installations and programming. And that was, as you will see in a lot of the reporting in our numbers, this was a win that really wasn't expected, and it was just a total gift. And we have Evanston's, downtown Evanston, and Annie Coakley to thank for this awesome opportunity. So here's Evanston Made by the numbers. For those of you who are familiar or not familiar with nonprofit reporting, when you are an official nonprofit organization, you have to file a 990, and it's a public sort of tax return of all of your numbers. And we will be able to do that for the first time for 2021. So all of these numbers will be public soon enough. But this is pretty exciting. You will be the first people to see, gasp, just how much revenue and expenses this little organization participated in 2021, which is amazing. So essentially, our gross revenue, which was, we did not project that it would be this big, but it was 181,288, which is massive, and 55 12% of that revenue came from art sales. Another thing that we did not necessarily know was going to happen. I mean, we certainly expect with 400 members there to be that category, but this really was a wonderful surprise. And then less expenses, we're looking at a net revenue for the organization of $15,480. I know that some of you are probably looking at this and like, next. Others are like, I have 55 questions. At any point, honestly, if you have questions, either in the chat or email us. But obviously the net revenue for operations, we want to be much bigger. There's also a payroll and expenses line. Just for full disclosure, in 2021, starting in September, I was able to take a salary from Evanston Made, which is awesome. We also paid stipends to people for doing accounting, for doing marketing, for being co-directors. That was the first time that our organization is able to do that. And small, but it's an awesome start. And again, expenses, we paid out 42% of expenses were artist commissions, a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. And we'd like to see more of that. So revenue also, a big category that has been great for the organization is our membership dues, being a massive income stream, $31,000 in 2021, which is just tremendous because that represents well over 400 members. And again, our biggest art sale proceeds number, 99,000. I mean, that's really due to the windfall Q4, and you'll see there's a breakout later of that holiday market. That is spectacular, and that allowed us to pay out $68,000 in artist commissions. Evanston Made keeps 30% of sales when we sell from our website and or a hosted pop-up. If you sell direct, obviously you keep 100%, but artist commissions that was a spectacular number in 2021. You will see this really represents the holiday market did a tremendous amount of sales. We projected, I think in 7 weeks that we would sell $30,000 of handmade goods and art, and we ended up selling $85,000, and $68,000 of that was commissions that went to artists. Later in the presentation, Liz has a breakout of exactly what kind of items were sold. But what's interesting is Q1 to 3, we sold $5,924 worth of art. And we thought maybe if we closed out the year with 10,000, that would be really great. But again, holiday market, windfall. And what that does is just plant the seeds of, imagine if we had a place downtown where you could always shop year round. But then again, 35% of retail sales happen during holiday shopping, I think Liz had mentioned. So obviously the numbers wouldn't be all the time. So this is, we are doing this presentation in 3 sections. We are doing Evanston Made by the numbers, by the people, and by the programs. And by the people is Liz's part. No, Lisa's part. Sorry. Oh,
no, that's me.
Oh, that is you. That's right. Sorry. Okay, Liz, you take over and I will, I'll just go do the slides for you.
Okay. So hello, everybody. Thanks again for being here. And I could overwhelm everyone with all of the analytics and the details, but I just call these the fun facts. So members taking art to market, which is always our goal. We took 224 makers to artists to market during the makers markets, and then an additional 20 for the Thursday night live events that happened with downtown Evanston. We had 173 people engaged with the Shopify system. And are we getting an echo? Sorry.
I know I just muted somebody.
Okay. So I wanted to make sure, just to backtrack just a little bit, to give you some behind the scenes insight. I think it's important that everybody know why we switched to Shopify. It is more expensive, which if you were analyzing those charts earlier, you can see those costs. It's a much more robust program for e-commerce than we had with our original art shop. And every thriving business has an e-commerce presence, not only for actual selling, but for searchability and for eyes on your work and on you as an artist. So we wanted to make sure that the system that we placed something that was going to carry us forward into the future. I know there have been some questions about, was that just for the holiday market? And no, it was not. It was part of the plan. So one of the things that we decided as a strategy for 2021, after spending all of 2020 pivoting because of COVID, was that we wanted to make sure that in 2021, we were ready for any opportunity that presented itself and to be able to leverage that. And the Shop Evanston Made switch to Shopify was part of that strategy, that we wanted to have a program that could become in real life if that opportunity presented itself, and we'd be ready to go. We also had to have a platform that enabled us to grow and to offer more benefits for the artists that were selling on that platform. So I can let you know that we are sending out some best practices and some more information, because I know that that whole launch on 10/1, and there was a lot going on for a lot of people in October. So if you missed it, it's not over, it's just starting. So for that, because we sold over 2,000 pieces of art since the launch of the Shopify Shop Evanston Made platform on 10/1. And we sold in 2020 online in our little art shop that we had before, we loved, $8,200 worth of art sales. In 2021, we sold 23,000, 180% increase. And yes, a great deal of that was because of the visibility of the shop that we were able to execute at 921 Church. But we sold $1,200 this month. So it is an growing platform. And so we're really excited about the potential there. And all of the other options that we have for bringing artists to market. We had artists participate in the Juneteenth Black Artisan Market, which was really, really successful and a great event. We had First Saturday. And I know that you all know this, but everybody that you talk to, if you can just be an ambassador for Evanston Made and let them know that First Saturday is a thing. We get frustrated sometimes because Evanston Made's been around for 8 or 9 years, and we still run into all these people that say, what is this again? What's Evanston Made? I don't understand. I worked for a company that had been around for 30 years, and every day somebody walked into the store and said, is this new? It's just a thing. It takes a village and then some. One of the things about our brand is the more eyes that are on our brand, the easier it is for us to promote your brand. That's our goal. Our branding is really just to give us a bigger platform to support you. So the more that you can talk about the programming that we do, the way you're involved in it, and everybody can pick and choose what works for them between all of our programs, but the more that we all talk about it and get everybody engaged, the better off it is, better off we all are. So First Saturday is a big part of that. The downtown Evanston Thursday night live markets was a really fun part of that. Makers Market, studio tours, and then of course our partners who are generous with their wall space and their promotional support to showcase artists all year round in Backlot, Coffee Lab, Prairie Avenue Gallery.
Oh,
yes, there's your segue.
That's right. Prairie Avenue Gallery. Thank you, Daniel. You know what? Can we, down here, there's a little, this provide another space to celebrate and appreciate Evanston's local artists. Daniel is the owner of Coffee Lab, and I'm going to interrupt the meeting for just a second. He is here on the call. Daniel, are you available to have a quick conversation?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. So
hello.
Hello, everybody. This is Daniel Aquino. I'm very, very excited. We're going to speak to 3 different people during this meeting, but Daniel, I wanted you, in under 2 minutes, to just sort of share why you opened up your store. Tell us where it is and what it is you're going to be selling.
Okay, so the Prairie Avenue Gallery is actually an extension of Coffee Lab. In the beginning of the pandemic, we actually started hosting a bunch of artists And that's how we found out that there was an Evanston Made, so it was by word of mouth, our landlord. And as soon as we started hosting all these artists during a time that was very difficult for Coffee Lab and Noise Street, long story short, we had about maybe 5 artists every month showcasing their work on a rotation. And when that happened, it really helped the business. It really grew the business and attracted a lot of new customers and loyal customers to Noise Street. So now that we're kind of going back into like a normal phase at Coffee Lab, we needed more room to nourish this new passion that we have for Evanston Made and Evanston Made artists. So we're like, it's kind of like our passion to celebrate what Evanston Made artists has contributed to our personal business and how it has really helped us thrive, and also in our own personal lives on how it has rekindled kind of like the artists in ourselves. So with this space, we're going to be hosting some residential artists who are going to be there permanently, but we're also going to reserve some quite a big space. It's a small shop, but a space where we will also have a rotation for Evanston Made artists to display their smaller works. And if you do have larger pieces, we're going to reserve the window pretty soon to have a schedule of Evanston Made artists display their stuff in the window.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel, for sharing. So this is right up the street from, or around the corner from, the old Prairie Joe's, on a very busy corner. And I'm so excited that this is another opportunity for artists to showcase. How do people get in touch with you, Daniel? Because there's like going to be 100 people who are asking to exhibit there tomorrow. So how do we get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Definitely. Yeah, we have a website, and it is it's www.prairieavgallery.com.
Okay.
And you can contact us there, or you can reach out to us via the contact form on that. I have actually a PR, our marketing manager, who's also handling that. So since we're so new, we have like a lot of developing ways for people to contact us.
A lot of moving parts. Awesome.
A lot of moving parts.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
Yep.
Aquino, I'm going to mute you so that we can't hear your dog barking anymore. And thank you for being in the meeting.
Thank you.
Some of you will also recognize Daniel as the Art Star recipient. He ripped that award right out of the Alley Gallery's hands, and we decided to give it to him because he has done so much to showcase art at Coffee Lab and now at Prairie Avenue Card Shop. And it's been an awesome, awesome experience having Daniel be a new member and be such an enthusiastic part. Okay, so Liz, you can take it back and no.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right. So be a cheerleader like Daniel, and and I think Lisa sent an email out to members before this meeting started, because we have 227 members with portfolio pages on our website, and we'd like it to be everybody. So it's pretty easy, and you just fill out the form. Lisa gets it up, then I can pull from that information to promote your work. And we just had somebody today that, or I guess it was yesterday, who got a commission because they saw Shelley's work and wanted to know where to find her. And they were able to go to all the different places where we promote our members and find her. So the other sales pitch on portfolio pages, just in case you think it's more work for you, it is almost always within the top 5 Google searches. If someone is looking for you, they see your name on your piece of art in Backlot or Coffee Lab or the group show or wherever, and they Google you, if you have a portfolio page, it will come up in the top 5, usually after your own website, your own Instagram. So that's pretty impressive, I think. And a great reason to have that portfolio page. We look at this going to market strategy, and making you all famous is having all the different places where people can find you. The research shows that in order to sell work, you have to have beautiful pictures of your work an engaging story, you have to be easy to find, and it has to be easy to purchase. So we're trying to help you with the easy to find part as much as we can. So in addition to the portfolio pages and the website, we have 5,200 followers on Instagram. Our reach in the fourth quarter was over 40,000 people on our Instagram pages. We have almost 3,000 Facebook followers, and that annual reach is 80,000. We received, thank you to everyone in Evanston who talks about us, and the Roundtable and Daily Northwestern and Patch and all the other places that you hear about Evanston Made. We had 84 unpaid media mentions for the organization and individual artists this year. Part of that is very much because of the Jean Cunningham Evanston Roundtable Artist Interview Program, which we love. And we featured, I think Kathy was in the newsletter today, Andrea was in the roundtable yesterday. They are beautifully done. Jean, if you're on, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it makes a wonderful feature that we're also linking those on the website so that those will also come up in a Google search on your road to becoming famous. First Saturday promotional opportunities every month. It's really simple. Just fill out the host form and we do all of the promotion. Send us pictures, send us scripts if you want to do a studio tour or whatever you want to do to promote your work. Just let us know. We also had a reach of 100,000 additional on paid social media this year. And we are expecting to see that grow substantially, because with the increased revenue that we were able to generate from 921 Church, it also increased our advertising budget, which is a very good thing. We launched the new Baby Shop Evanston Made Instagram account October 1st. We have almost 600 followers, and there's another slide about that later, so we can go into that. But tell your friends, tell your fans, tell your neighbors and your family, everybody follow all of the artists that are selling on our Shop Evanston Made. Community calendar's free, and it's searchable. It's a great way to promote your events. And in case you're really bored and you want to Google Evanston Made, the last time I did it, there were 40 million results, 100,000 news hits on Google. So maybe it's just me doing it all the time that's raising the numbers, but we do have people that are paying attention to Evanston Made. So wanted to share the good news. So here's just some fun charts, because everybody loves a chart. Reach, which I talked about already, just so that you can see it. And where it spikes is obviously when we have major events. You'll see a big spike in April because of Art for the Earth, big spikes for group show, September, all the makers markets, and then of course the holiday market. And then this is kind of interesting. If you ever wanted to know what the age ranges are for the people that we're reaching, it's not all the same people. So we have a wide variety of people that are following us on both platforms, 18 to 65 plus. We even have 20, 23, 24% men, which is awesome. So we are watching these numbers. You know, it depends on the event, obviously, what the target audience is, but it is a very broad range and very diverse. So, you know, we have a great breadth of artists and talent and different works. So we want to reach a lot of people and share that with them. Profile hits, just like, you know, I get into the analytics a little bit too much. Just the numbers going up, keeps getting bigger and bigger. That's really the important thing. And their visits to the profile are more important than likes, because that means that they've taken that extra step, excuse me, and they want to go into a deeper dive and they want to go to the website. So we're trying to drive traffic to the website and to the Shop Evanston Made website, so people are actually purchasing instead of just hitting the like button. And here's our new little baby Evanston Made account. And I really just wanted to show you that since 10/1, when we launched this, we have almost 600 followers, which I said, and we've reached 89,000 people, and that's 60% with ads. So I just for those of you that I told when you went on to our Shop Evanston Made site and you were going to be part of the inaugural group of people to sell art there, that we were going to advertise it. We are, and we will continue to.
We
Not that you
are.
can believe me, but we are, yes.
Thank you, Liz, for those numbers. I'm also, we've got the mayor on this call. Mayor Biss, I am going to unmute you in a second. Or maybe you're not muted.
Yeah, I just unmuted myself. And
thank you.
I was allowed to do that, which seemed honestly very risky. But
that's kind of totally risky. We are super flattered that a busy person like you has made time to be in this all members meeting. Thank you. You're on very limited time, so let's not get too chatty with each other. But one of the reasons I wanted you on here today is you were so enthusiastic and excited and blown away and lovely about the Shop Evanston Made holiday market. And I would just love for you to talk for 2 minutes about your experience and what it was like for you to see that kind of showcase in Evanston.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for asking. And I swear the following story is both true and was not staged. I was driving my kids, who are 11 and 13, down Church Street today to get to a good activity. And as we drove by the old Urban Outfitters space, one of them said, "Oh, look, it's Evanston Made." And then we had to look in the window and see that there was nothing in there, and we felt a little bit heartbroken for a second. But I came with my family, with my kids, with my parents, bought something that I'm extremely proud to display in my office. You all should come visit. And it was just delightful. And it was, I'm sure the numbers have already been shared about, just how much business was done, but also just how many happy people were in that space. How joyous was it for people to be together and celebrate the work of local creators. And I think it really speaks to the fundamental and really deep human need in this community that Evanston Made is filling. It's not just about economic development or sales. It's really about creating that opportunity for us to be together in a creative and welcoming and beautiful context. And I just can't thank you enough. It was really a bright spot over the holidays for us, and excited to see what innovative and outside the box ideas we come across in 2022. So thanks so much.
Awesome.
Lisa.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate you, and so much appreciate you going and remuting yourself. For those of you that did miss it, this is just a quick slideshow that Liz put together. So the responsibilities of that holiday market were split in. Kathy Halper was in charge of displaying art. I was in charge of programming, and Liz was in charge of merchandising the shop. And the three of us were able to really actualize a 13,000 square foot vacant space in 2 weeks lead time, but really 4 days because they kept stalling, giving us keys, which is fine. But it did, in 7 weeks, we sold $85,000 worth of product, which is amazing. In 7 weeks, we partnered with myriad organizations, we hosted events, and it really whet our appetite for what would it be like if we had a space where we could gather? What would that look like? Where would it be? All of those things. And space is a big issue, and we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but it is definitely, it generated so much attention for our organization and our members. It was awesome. And thank you everybody who's on this call who was part of it and who made it happen. And it was a fantastic, fantastic experience. I'm super, super grateful. So don't worry, we're not going to play it again. Oh, there's a bunny rabbit in here. So now we're going to walk through Evanston Made by the programs. We are going to hear from one more person before the meeting is over. Our board president, Denise Barreto, who many of you know, who is a fantastically enthusiastic human when it comes to supporting Evanston Made. But what we're going to do is just essentially all of the programming that we participate in designing and hosting is strictly meant to connect our artists to a growing number of arts patrons, community members who are fans. yes, a lot of times there is a big economic engine driver that we talk about because we do love for people to be able to buy new art supplies and pay their studio space rent, but we really want a community building aspect to be available to all of our members. And we heard from you all very early on that, yes, you love studio space and exhibitions and selling opportunities, but what you really did love is meeting other artists, oftentimes people who had lived on the same block. So in 2021, coming out of the pandemic, we ended up hosting 48 events, which is amazing, and programs total. As we said earlier, the fall studio tour came back. We did first Saturdays all year round. We were able to host the group show. We did 6 makers markets. We did 3 in-person members mixers, but again, we got a little bit, tried to be very cautious. We did some online things. In 2022, we will definitely be more in person. We did professional development series, all of which is available on the website. We kicked off the year with Wonderland. We hosted Art for Earth Giving Tuesday. We had a fun calendar project. We did our New Year's Eve auction. And we hosted downtown Evanston live markets. They ended up really being such a fantastic partner for us this year. Downtown Evanston was really, or last year was just amazing. And they then secured the holiday pop-up market. So we are going to try to the best of our ability to replicate all of these. But first, I want to show you this awesome video in case you haven't seen it. I'll stop talking. It's only 30 seconds.
Evanston Made is committed to being change makers, not taste makers. At our annual group show, we're exhibiting work by 179 member artists so you can discover new talent and start your Evanston art collection today. Every red dot is more than a sale. It's a special connection between the buyer and the artist. It's empowering, community building, and our kind of positive change.
Okay, so the reason I love this video, this was done by Malika Gardner and her partner, Dawn, whose last name I'm going to totally space on right now. I apologize. But this was the first time that we saw, we've had this hashtag Collect Evanston Art campaign going for a couple years. And this exhibit was the first time that we saw a tremendous amount of art sales. And a lot of people think it's oftentimes bad form to talk about art sales and really push that message. But we really want to encourage people to get to know their neighbor who makes art, go to their studio, engage with them, and become collectors. And collecting Evanston art is affordable. Collecting Evanston art is accessible. And it's also super fun because we make artists available to the community year round. And so that show really illustrated that we could, have a marketing campaign for several years that had massive effect. But 179 members in a show, that's a lot of work. That's a lot to sift through. And with 400 members, that is not necessarily so sustainable to do at the first floor of the Evanston Art Center. So big headline for 2022 will be that we will break up and do group shows by affinity programs, and that we will be rolling out what that means in more detail. Someone is not muted, but so if you are not muted, try to mute yourself if you can. I don't know who is not muted. Okay, so another thing that I did want to, so 40 to 48 events and programs, a couple new ones you'll see. So we're going back to the studio tours June and October. We're going to continue with for Saturdays group shows. Again, we're going to split up and do several of them. Makers markets, we're going to go from 6 down to 3. We piloted makers markets to find biggest audiences, and we're going to choose the 3 months where we have the greatest turnout. We're going to aim for members mixers during the warm months when we can be outside, but sooner than later. We're going to continue with professional development. Winter Wonderland is live right now, which is very exciting. Art for Earth will come back in April. We're going to partner with Mark Cleveland to bring a plein air art festival to Evanston. Downtown Evanston, Mark Cleveland and Evanston Made are going to work together to make this event happen in July, the second week of July. We got a proposal from Mark Cleveland. He's participates in these all the time, and we are super excited to do this. So that's going to happen in July. We're also going to continue the Thursday night markets in downtown Evanston during the warm months. We'll have Shop Evanston Made holiday pop-ups. Will they look like the empty Urban Outfitters? I know not. That was, again, a surprise windfall. We will do our Giving Tuesday fundraising campaign, and we will also have our online auction, which we hosted for the second year in a row. So essentially, what we want to make sure that everybody understands is that, again, all of our events and programming, we do talk heavily about sales, but really what we are trying to do is get as many artists as possible in front of one another and community members. And if that leads to sales, great. But the more that we can showcase our members, the better. One big thing that happened in 2021 is we had our fearless leader, Kathy Halper, step down. That is something that I'm gonna go through the next slide quickly because I didn't put her beautiful picture in it, which I was supposed to, and I'm very sorry. But essentially what we, hold on a second. Essentially, what we wanted to do was give Kathy a quick shout out in this meeting to say thank you so much for being so incredibly awesome. For those of you that didn't know, right at the end of the year, right around the holiday market, Kathy stepped down as co-director, and so much of what happened in 2021, especially with the launch of Shopify, the incredible exhibits and programmings we all did, so much of that was because of Kathy's amazing hard work over many, many years, not just one. Kathy and her husband Rick have been wonderful advisors and totally awesome. And really a very fun part of the organization in that it's important for your volunteers and your members who are running the whole entire organization to also be artists. And so much of what we do, when we talk about being in support of our members and our artists, you really want those people to have strong voices, and you really want those people to push initiatives that matter to artists and not just event planners or fundraisers or money people. And that was really, Kathy was an advocate for making sure that we were always working as hard as we possibly could for our artist members. And now she just gets to be an artist member. She doesn't have to do all of the extra work that comes along with it. And hopefully we'll reap the rewards of all of her amazing work. So this is also a quick video of all of the programming that took place in 2022 or 2021. And while we're waiting for Denise Barreto, who's actually, Denise, are you ready to chat, or do you want to?
What? I was born ready. What are you talking about?
Oh, you know that I can mute you, right? Okay, so wait. So let me just intro Denise really quickly to say that I wanted Denise to talk at the end of this meeting because she is our board president. She is an amazing advocate for Evanston Made and has been for many years. But I wanted her to talk about what it means to show up for the arts and how she plans to show up for the arts in this community, not just as a board member, but just as a human who's engaging with Evanston Made. So Denise, do you want to jump on and talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly.
Excellent, because I was coming back from my other life down in Cook County, and now I am here fully. I've been with you from the beginning. First of all, my name is Denise Barreto. I am the reluctant president of the board of Evanston Made. And yes, it's reluctant. I quit everything last year. The mayor, I have to say that because he's on, and I quit the Parks and Rec board. But I, like my time with you is really this. First of all, I am not an artist, right? But I'm a person that makes stuff happen. And that's why I'm here, right? I have an incredible amount of energy. I have incredible amount of love for artists. Like in the background, you can see art on my wall. There's art everywhere around me. This is from an art show that I went to in the city. I didn't realize this, but I raised 2 artists too. And so the bottom line is, the reason I am here, why I put this time in, is because I do believe in community and I do believe in activism. And I believe that without artists, we would all not be still surviving this pandemic we're in. I don't know where they're not doing the pandemic. Lisa said something about coming out of the pandemic. I'm like, where's that? Because where I live, I'm still in the goddamn pandemic, guys. And so here's the thing. Artists have always saved us. What did we do when we couldn't go anywhere? We all turned on the television. We all read more. We started being outdoors. Like the bottom line is, artists have always been the salve of society, right? Through time. And I'm just glad to have an opportunity to serve artists, right? Like I am also an angry, reluctant art collector. Every time I walk into an Evanston Made thing, I drop so much money. I'm tired of that, right? But that's what I want everybody in Evanston to feel like, right? I want everybody to have Evanston Made, Evanston local art fatigue, okay? Because the point is, it's not just about the pieces that you get to put up. We are putting food on the table for some folks, right? This is some people's livelihood. And there's so many people. The range of artists that we serve are from the professionals, this is all they do, to the up and coming folks who are trying to do this, to the people who are retiring and pivoting. We have an organization that serves everybody and that cares for everybody, that puts justice first. And justice is important to me. As a Gen X Black American, I've never seen it before. I don't even know what it looks like, but I am willing to work for it. And I believe that a lot of you are like that too, because I've seen it in your work. I've seen it in your art. I've seen it as I met you in the various events that I've come to. And so I guess, and let me just say, while I was on the panel for the Evanston city managers, guess what? I was there on behalf of another organization, and it hit me while I was talking to these new potential mayors. I'm like, wait a minute. Did you hear about Evanston Made? Did you hear about all that money we sold? Did you hear what we did during a time when people wanted to connect and people wanted to get together? We created an opportunity and a space where that can happen. So that's what it's all about. And you guys, I'm only at about 30% of my energy now. I have been at work since 7 a.m. and I just drove back right now. So imagine how I might be if I was at 100%. Imagine what I could do if I could just talk to everybody when I'm really excited about Evanston Made. So thank you so much for being a member. Thank you for bringing more members to us. We know that it's you, like we do, and we have the hustle. Kudos to Kathy Halper. Thank you so much. Big old round of applause for all of your service. We love you and we're thankful to you. And now you're just a member who's going to be as busy and involved and hopefully driving your art business. Lisa and all of my fellow board members, Evan, Matt, Courtney, and I think we have a new one, Mickey. And Mickey, yeah. So, but the point is, this enthusiasm that I have, this isn't something that you should be afraid of catching, right? Like we all need to be the mouthpieces for this organization. We all need to be bringing more members to us when we have events, we have opportunities to support each other. I mean, I was so blessed. One of my other jobs I have is I'm an executive producer of an award-winning show that our debut is Sunday on WTTW Fly Brother. Well, many of you came and supported our fundraiser that we had in December. And that's just another example of how Evanston Made, as we lift and grow ourselves, we lift and grow and bring people with us, particularly people who don't always have opportunities, particularly people who don't always have spaces where they can call their own, right? So I am so grateful. I'm so thankful. I won't always be the president, but I'll always be a supporter. I just bought a place that you're looking at here in Evanston. So unfortunately, you're stuck with me for a little longer. I was trying to get out of town, but it hasn't worked yet. But the point is, as long as I'm here, I'm going to be an evangelist for Evanston Made. And I invite you to do that with me. Thanks.
Thank you, Denise. You are a rock star. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. And yes, we were able to host Denise's Fly Brother fundraiser at Church Street. And that another thing that was so impressive with, I sort of like everything we did is we received a gift, and this is very Evanston Made, right? So we received a gift and we turned around and we reshared it with everybody. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. So Liz, I want to ask you, do you want to wrap up? There's 7 minutes. We told everybody the meeting would be an hour long. Do you want to do questions from the audience? People can jump out if they want to. Are there comments that you want to share? What would you like to do?
I have been going through the chat and it doesn't look like there are any questions, but if I have missed anything.
There was one about the Evanston Made shop on your website. I can't remember who.
Okay, Bonnie, I think, asked about the Shop Evanston Made. Shop Evanston Made is set up as its own website. So there are links back to the evanstonmade.org site, but shopevanstonmade.org is its own entity. And Betty, I can send, or Bonnie, I can send you all of the information on how to set up a Shopify account under our Shop Evanston Made banner, and little help sheets and all kinds of things. If you're interested in that, and anybody else, just email us at info@evanstonmade.org. Lisa and I both get those emails. So you might get 2 answers, but you'll definitely at least get 1. And we'll take care of any of those questions. Other than that, were there questions?
There's some questions coming in. As you can see, I'm the queen of the chat.
Okay.
And y'all are lucky we don't have teams, because it would be gifts in there. So the first question, you see that? It says, who among artist members is also a collector? What do you connect? That's from Janet. Ren has a question, and it looks like V. Roeder has a question as well.
Okay, so let me do the easy ones first. So Ren, updating your portfolio. Yes, I didn't get a chance to answer your email a few minutes ago, but yeah, just send in an email at the info@ with whatever changes you want, and we'll get that done for you. And that goes for anybody else too. If you decided you hate your artist statement that you put up 2 years ago on the portfolio pages, just send a new one and we'll get those updated for you. Question, who among artist members is also a collector? What do you collect? Are there collectors in Evanston or beyond? Okay, Janet, we'll hang on to that for the end. I think we've all sort of become collectors, but I want everybody else to kind of be able to talk about that. We'll save that for like a group chat at the end. Let me just answer the easier questions first. The 4 shows, they will not all be in June. They will be spread out through the summer and into the fall. A couple of them, or a few of them, are still a work in progress, but Lisa, do you want to share the kickoff inaugural show?
Sure. The inaugural show at the Evanston Arts Center in June will be a BIPOC member show. So essentially, we're going to have a curator, Fran Joy. We're going to have all BIPOC members able to participate, of which I think we're looking at approximately 30. And again, we're 400 members big. We cannot do one in one building, so we're going to chunk them up. And in hosting the BIPOC artist at Evanston Art Center, the Art Center has agreed to gift 100% of the commission back to the artists for all sales. They will not take a commission. Evanston Made will not take a commission. So this is, and we will actually have a curator who will receive a curatorial fee, which we've never done before. And we're partnering with our partner organizations in ways that benefit everybody, not just Evanston Made. And that is something we learned from Church Street. If we have a gift, we need to share it. So we will be doing that in June, but then subsequently we're going to do 3 more shows in affinity. So potentially 2D, potentially 3D, potentially emerging, but we've got to design what those look like. We also have realized, and we've heard from so many people, that more Evanston Made everywhere, right? Not just in one place. For years, people have mistaken us for the Evanston Art Center because we've only done our group show there. And even at the Church Street, so many people were like, this is so great that Evanston Art Center is doing this project. And it's not, we're not the Evanston Art Center, but that's a branding issue. And we're hoping that by taking the show on the road, as it were, and being in more locations across Evanston, that might help people see us more and see our members more. And so that's what's going to happen. We'll be announcing that. It just got put together a week ago, so we'll be announcing that very soon.
We also think that by dividing up and doing multiple shows, you know, if Denise goes shopping, she only has X budget for that day, or that show. But if we get her to go to 4 shows, you know, she's going to buy 4 times. So, and it's not just Denise, everybody kind of shops that way. I think that the opportunity to reach a broader audience and to really broaden our footprint outside of Evanston by having 4 shows to promote. We don't really like the fact that people think of us, people who don't know a lot about Evanston Made think of us as like, oh, they do that one show in June, that's all they do. We want to make sure that everybody understands the breadth of work that we represent with all of your talent and all of the different opportunities that people have to connect with you. So the more, the better.
And we probably will also ask for more engagement from our members when it comes to curating and designing shows. Another thing that we have committed to in 2022 is just having more collaborators across the board, making the work less top heavy and making it more community based. I just curated a show with Indira Johnson and Fran Joy, and Indira Johnson is a very, very successful artist and a community organizer, and she does nothing alone. She does everything in a group of like 25 people. And the result of that is always hundreds of humans who show up for her and her work. And I would love for Evanston Made to sort of move more into that. And the group shows, plural, is a definite opportunity to do that.
Oh, my favorite question.
What?
Who do I email if you want to volunteer time to support Evanston Made? We are going to add a sign-up genius to everything that we do going forward, which we piloted for 921 Church, and it saved our lives. So thank you to everyone who donated time and work shifts. And even though they hated touching the register and all of that stuff, they came and they helped with 921 Church, because we wouldn't have made it through that without you. Everybody, I think, had a pretty good experience with the interface of Sign Up Genius, and we just did it for volunteers for Winter Wonderland, and lo and behold, we got like all these people to volunteer, come do stuff in the 17-degree weather with us last weekend. So we're going to do that every single time going forward. It's our new favorite thing. And you can always do that info@evanstonmade.org and just say what you're interested in, what you'd love to help with. I'm currently seeking out somebody to help me run Art for the Earth in April and partner with organizations throughout Evanston. So we have representation of public art all over town for the month of April. So if you want to sign up for that one, I'll be on the lookout for those emails. But yes, thank you. And thanks for making sure that we called that out, that we want volunteers. And if you've got a passion project, let us know. We'll be happy to do some delegating.
Yeah, and some activation. I mean, I know that some people are like, Plein Air Festival, how'd that happen? Who's this Mark Cleveland guy? I mean, essentially, if people come to us with ready-made partners and great ideas, we're the type of organization, because we're 400 people big, we can make things happen. So if there are ideas that you've been mulling about, I know that I met with Evanston Sherry, one of my favorite urban sketchers recently, just to run some ideas. If you've got concepts, you can come to us for consultation, we'll call it in air quotes, but definitely reach out, because we're always looking to maximize your ability to connect with the general public. I also have to give a quick shout out to Jen Martinson, who's on this call, and her dog. She is with Backline Business, And Jen has been working with Evanston Made for the last 6 months to help us get all of our back end numbers in order, because as I said at the top of the call, now that we're an official 501c3, we have to do very public tax filing stuff, and we have to be able to pull back the curtain and have clean, awesome numbers. And Jen has been instrumental in helping us do that. She does that for many creative organizations, not just Evanston Made, but we're super grateful. And I just wanted to give you a quick shout out, Jen, because so much of our awesome, solid number reporting is because of you. So thank you. And we've got board members on the call too, who are rad, we're in phase 2 of the board, where these people are helping us absolutely level up. And I'm so grateful to Evan, and I see Courtney and our new board member, Mickey. And I think Ann is out of town seeing her mom, and Matt is somewhere on here, but thank you so much. And Denise, of course, thank you for being such awesome supporters of all things Evanston Made.
Oh, just a quick shout out. Melissa is a former board member, one of the founding board members.
Oh yeah, and Angela.
Melissa is here. I know, I saw her face.
And Melissa offered to potentially host a group show at Studio 3, her new studio for Kids Create Change, which is super, super awesome on Grove in the alley. And in fact, yeah, there's so many exciting things coming up. I feel like, is there any more questions that we have to address?
Not that I'm seeing, but I may be missing something. I just wanted to.
Someone asked if we replaced the difficult to replace. Do you have someone to take Kathy's place yet?
Yes, Jenny.
We're hiring 7 people to replace Kathy Halper.
I've been spending all my free time doing Shopify and WordPress tutorials.
Now I know how to build portfolio pages. It's fine.
Yes,
it's fine.
we have not replaced Kathy because she is irreplaceable. We are working on that, and we're working on bringing in some interns to help us with some of the functionality and the whole thing we were just talking about, volunteers and having people be committee chairs and lead events. We are learning to let go and not be such control freaks. And that's a healthy growing experience for all of us. Denise, don't be too shocked. We're not succeeding yet, but we're working on it. And we're trusting that all of you are going to be awesome partners and continue to volunteer your time and to be engaged and to continue to help us grow. And
to be awesome arts ambassadors.
Mm-hmm. Yes, arts ambassadors. Yes, exactly.
Could we maybe have Melissa unmute, if you're willing, Melissa, to talk about the exciting initiative that's taking place in May that many of our members will want to know about?
Yeah, thank you. So we're focusing right now on activities and events for South Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which is in May. And there will be a lot of different events that are going on throughout the month, but one of the big sort of features is the Umbrella Arts Festival, which is going to be essentially an arts festival, which I just found out today. I had a meeting with the City Special Events Committee, and they finally okayed everything, and the city is going to be sponsoring the festival.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, very excited. And we're blocking off the street now from Davis to Grove by Fountain Square. We're gonna have, fingers crossed, if I can make this happen, hopefully Funkadesi will be playing. And we've got a lot of other, Mandala Arts is going to do a performance. And so we have a lot of artists that are gonna be involved. And we're also gonna have some food booths and a lot of making happening. So a lot of community art making that will be happening, but it'll really be, a way to increase the visibility and representation of our ASA-PIA community. So very excited about that.
Congratulations, Melissa. Awesome, awesome. And that's in May, and we will do our best to promote the heck out of it. And then, also you need help cultivating awareness so that new members who would be interested in this affinity group. So if you know artist friends who might be interested in Melissa's initiative, please reach out your website is very new and fancy. What is the URL?
It's Evanston, ASAPIA.com.
Okay. We will share that. Does anybody else have an announcement that's as exciting as that they want to give a shout out for, or anything that they want to address or give a shout out about? You're welcome to. Or we can all just finish recording and be on our merry way since it's 8:08. Good job. Good job. 79 people showing up. All right. Snaps galore. I think that's it,
Yay.
everybody. Good work.
Thanks, you guys.
So